Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some source material that, well, it looks like it's about a pretty distinguished astrophysicist, but also, maybe surprisingly, about English grammar.
Yeah, it seems like an odd mix at first glance, doesn't it?
It really does. So our mission here is to pull out the key insights about Professor Warwick Couch and his really impressive scientific work.
But here's the kicker. We're also going to see how paying attention to the grammar, the specific words used, actually helps us unlock what's going on.
Even in just a paragraph or two, it's quite subtle.
Get ready for a bit of an aha moment, maybe, because we want to show you how these small grammatical points can really shift how you understand any text.
Like a key almost.
Exactly. It lets you quickly pick up on nuances, important details, whether you're reading about, big scientific breakthroughs like this or really anything else.
Okay, so let's dive in. The material starts right off by establishing Professor Couch's status. It says Victoria University of Wellington has conferred an honorary degree on him. And my first thought was, okay, why has conferred? That specific tense, the present perfect, what's that telling us straight away?
Well, that choice has conferred. It's really insightful. It immediately frames this conferring as something relevant now. It gives Professor Couch this current elevated status.
Ah, so it's not just a thing that happened and finished.
Precisely. The writer uses that tense to kind of stamp the ongoing significance of his new title onto the situation, right from the very beginning.
It emphasizes the result, the current state.
Yeah, the effect of that past action is still active. It matters now.
Okay, that makes sense. But then almost in the next breath, the text switches focus to Professor Couch himself, saying he received the degree. So why that sudden shift to the simple past received? It feels quite deliberate.
It does, and it raises a good point about how tenses can give different perspectives on the same core event. So while the university has conferred it, that's the present perfect highlighting the ongoing status. The university's action having present relevance, him, Professor Couch, receiving it, well, that's simple past.
Okay.
That zooms in on his part of it. The specific moment, the action completed at a point in the past, the ceremony itself.
Ah, the act of taking possession of it.
Exactly. And it's perfectly normal to see both tenses, even close together like this. The author's just subtly shifting the temporal focus or the perspective. You get the big picture status and the specific personal action.
Got it. University's action echoes. His receiving is done. Clears that up. Now, moving deeper into his work, his achievements, the source tells us he is a distinguished astrophysicist
Present tense there. Ongoing state.
who has played a crucial role in a major discovery, the one about the universe expanding faster and faster.
And that's a huge deal, right? That discovery fundamentally shifted cosmology.
Absolutely. It pointed towards the idea the universe might just expand forever.
Yeah.
And the lead scientist on that got the Nobel Prize in Physics back in 2011.
Which, the text notes, Professor Couch attended, acknowledging his contribution.
Right. So let's look at that phrase, who has played, another present perfect. What's the significance there?
Well, again, connecting it back, has played, signals a contribution with lasting importance. It's not just something he did once and it's over.
Like his role still matters.
Exactly. The impact of his work in that discovery is still felt. It probably informs current research, theories about dark energy, things like that. It paints him as foundational. His work has this ongoing echo.
That's a really good way to put it, an ongoing echo. Okay, and speaking of adding layers, the source uses the word which twice, pretty close together.
And to that.
It says a finding which led to the lead scientist being awarded a Nobel Prize, and then which he attended. What's the function of which in these spots?
Right, so which here introduces what we call a non-defining relative clause. Think of like a little side note.
Extra information.
Yeah, interesting extra info. But you could technically remove that clause, and the main sentence would still make sense. It's grammatically correct because which refers back to the finding or the Nobel ceremony, not a person.
Ah, okay.
It's just an efficient way. Grammar lets us layer in more details without needing a whole new sentence. Keeps it flowing, adds context.
Nice. Efficient storytelling. I like that. Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me. What does he actually do? The source says, in his research, Professor Couch uses large ground-based and space-based telescopes to observe galaxy clusters, which are the largest structures in the universe, and also that he is involved in various committees.
Right. A lot of present simple tense there.
Exactly. Uses is involved.
Yeah.
What does that grammatical pattern tell us about his professional life?
Good pickup. The present simple here describes his regular, habitual actions. It's what he does. routine list.
Like his job description, almost. Sort of, yeah. It's like saying a baker uses flour, makes bread, and is involved in the local market. It gives you a snapshot of his typical, ongoing professional activities. This is his standard practice.
And observing galaxy clusters, that's obviously fundamental astrophysics work.
Absolutely. It ties directly into understanding the universe's large-scale structure. It shows his daily work contributes to these, really grand scientific questions.
Okay, that makes sense. It's his current regular reality. And then finally, the source adds one more layer. It says, in addition to his own research activities, Professor Couch has worked to support young researchers and also provide public commentary internationally. So 2 things there. What's in addition to doing, and why has worked again?
Okay, so in addition to, it's just a linking phrase, right? A prepositional phrase. Means besides or as well as. It's a smooth way to tack on another related point without making it feel totally separate.
So it's connecting his support work to his main research. Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows these activities are layered on top of his primary research, builds a fuller picture, and then has worked back to the present perfect again.
Yeah.
This emphasizes that his support for young researchers and his public commentary aren't just one-off things. It suggests an ongoing effort, a continuous contribution over time. It implies it's a significant, persistent part of his professional life still benefiting the community.
Right. So it's not just his research, but this broader contribution that also has that ongoing echo quality.
Precisely. It rounds out the picture of his impact.
Okay, so pulling this all together, we've just done this deep dive, and hopefully it's maybe shifted your perspective a bit, not just on Professor Couch's fascinating work,
Which is definitely fascinating.
but also on how grammar, these seemingly small details, actually pack a punch.
Yeah, we've seen how choosing a specific tense or using a relative pronoun like which or certain phrases, that they aren't just rules you memorize, they're tools.
Tools for communication.
Exactly. Tools that communicate incredible precision, depth. They help you, the reader or listener, quickly figure out what's recent and still relevant.
Like the honorary degree status.
Right, or what was a specific completed event in the past, like him receiving the degree at the ceremony.
And what's just part of his regular, ongoing professional life, like using telescopes.
It's all about how an author's word choices give you these subtle timelines and contexts. It's like a hidden map within the text, helping you navigate complex information more easily.
A hidden map. I really like that metaphor. Absolutely. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other complex things you read or hear might you go back to now? Looking for these subtle grammatical clues, these little signposts to perhaps uncover even deeper layers of meaning about the world around you.